Previously on Dr. Brian shows you how to properly service your lawn machine. Sometimes you just gotta show them how it's done.
Dr. Brian, I was kind of watching you over the fence line, pounding your lawn machine with a big hammer. What he did was he asked me if he could lay hands on my spindle. I said, of course you can. You can come over anytime you want and lay your hands on my spindle. What do you want? So he grabs a hold of my spindle, right? And he gives it a twist. He goes, oh, your spindle is really stiff. And I was like, yeah.
This is what real engine maintenance is at the end of the day. All right, welcome back, YouTube. Today is a day where I'm going to actually do something I've never done before, which was change the tires on my lawn tractor. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be amazing. And, you know, to be on the safe side, just like I've said in my other segments, I need to switch into my safety glasses for my own protection, which is what I'm fixing to do. And let's begin. So, these tires all have a dust cover here, and it just needs to kind of just be liberated, just as you see. And what we have here on the tires, packed full of grease, as it should be, because it is a item of wear. And I'm going to show you how to grease this area after I pull the tire off. But like at the end of the day, there's a little C-clip here that I need to like pull off, and then it's going to have a washer that comes off. And the way you do that, I think, is that you got to get a hold of that dude. Yeah, all right, so in order to get after it, you're probably gonna have to come in here and get a little flathead screwdriver, as you see here, and get up underneath it, and boom, C-clip is out. Looks like the letter C, full of grease. I am gonna sit that here and wipe it off. Then you pull off this little washer assembly. I'll clean that up here in a second. And then, as you can see, this dude is ready to get liberated. Boom, done and done. Looking good. Tire assembly ready for changing the tire. As I was saying, is that what you should do as part of any good preventive maintenance program, on the back of this rim, you have a little nipple right here, and that's how you grease it up. And I'm fixing to show you how to do that here after I get the tire changed, all right? So stay tuned. My dudes. So I got the wheels off on both sides, and I'm fixing to take them outside and take the tires off the rims. But while I had this view here, I kind of wanted to give you an idea of some of the other quite important maintenance tasks you should be doing. And with the wheels off, you can really see what I'm about to do. So around the machine, there are several what we call nipples or grease zerts. And what you're supposed to do on your annual maintenance is to make sure that you top off all of these dudes with grease. And if you don't, you're gonna have premature failure. And ain't nobody wanting to have premature failure on their lawn machine at any given time. So what I'm fixing to do, normally I do this with the wheel on because I'm not changing my wheels every year. But because I have the wheels off, you're gonna be able to see real good about what I'm about to do, right? So what I have is I have a bunch of grease that I got down from the automotive store, and this brand is STP. So I always kind of wondered what STP stood for. I've always used it, and it seems to do a good job. And I didn't really know what it stood for, but apparently my fiance Emily told me that STP stands for Stains T-Shirts Permanently. And she's gonna be right about that. And let me tell you a story about being right, because like I don't like to argue with Emily, and and when I do, I always find out that she knows a lot more about things than I do. And case in point is, when I was single, I used to go to the bathroom and leave the toilet seat up when I was done, because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't annoying to other men that came to my house that had to use my toilet. Because when I got into this solid relationship that I'm in with Emily, she was quick to inform me that it is better etiquette, apparently, to leave the toilet seat down after you use it. And I argued with her, and we had point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. And it was kind of an argument that kind of went on for a little while. And so I got to thinking about it over a week while I was sleeping alone on the couch. And I come to realize after that happened was that she was in fact right, that it is better etiquette to leave the toilet seat down after you use it. So kudos to Emily. She knows a lot of things. She knows that this stains T-shirts permanently, which seems like quite a bit to do with like truth in advertising. So without further ado, let's talk about the other things about getting your nipples greased on your lawn machine, right? So what we have here is another thing I got from the auto parts store, which is a grease dispenser. And I can use this to insert this STP into this cylinder. Then I'm gonna attach it to this thing. Now, this guy actually comes with a couple of options, which are quite nice. So you have a straight and stiff tube, and you have a long and flaccid hose. Now, really at the end of the day, it's up to whatever your preference is on what you want to use. Obviously, if you have the wheel off, you might be able to come in directly straight on with your stiff tube. To be honest with you, after 50 years of living, I actually have a lot of experience at this point in my life with dealing with a flaccid hose. So that's the option that I'm going with, and that's what you're going to see me do today. So you take your cylinder, you pull it out, and it has like a full stop. And it's just kind of operates like a toothpaste tube. So like I took the cap off of Stains T-Shirts Permanently here, and I'm gonna insert it after I puncture this, so the bottom of the tube, you see that? Before I do that, I'm gonna leave the cap on. What you want to do is you want to breach the, oh my goodness. You want to breach the little foil guide. Ooh, look at that. That's nasty stuff. So you put it in the cylinder after you breach it. You got the cap off, right? And you just kind of shove it down in. You just pack that, and we're gonna pack this dude full of grease today. And I'm trying to work clean, but I got it all over myself in my gloves. And thankfully, I always have shop towels available to me whenever I make myself dirty. And that's a pro tip that you can take to the bank, right? All right, so I got that all completed. I got my STP grease inserted. I am going to go ahead and secure the flaccid hose onto the cylinder. I've got it ready to go, and really at this point it is just basically get it on the titty, and then you just kind of squeeze the dude and you just pack it full of grease. And I know you're probably wondering if this is working at all, and the way you can do that is if you just like squeeze your guy and you handle your hose and you just keep squeezing, until it starts to bubble up. Like this hose is awfully long. Sometimes you can just like squeeze this guy and it doesn't feel like it's of any effect. And my only advice is that you should be patient as you're working it, because the end result is gonna be good for you and the machine at the end of the day. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness, I can feel the pressure coming. My dude. Well, this is kind of unexpected. I forgot to cap off my dude and I made another mess on my guy. So instead of coming up through my long hose, it came through here, and I didn't realize that the other accessory that was missing from the mix was that I needed to cap off this guy right here. Apparently, you got to do that. So that's what I'm fixing to do. Excuse me while I clean up my mess on aisle 6. Yep. And let me get my little cappy cap and put on here so I can get this goo going through my long flaccid hose. All right, so stay tuned. All right, my dudes, so what you saw in the last scene was that basically I had forgotten to add the cap that came with my grease assembly. And what had happened was, because I forgot to put the cap on right here, all of that grease started to squirt out. The point of least resistance was right here, instead of going up through my long flaccid hose as it should have. So that being said, when you get your brand new grease gun from your automotive parts store, it will have a cap that looks like this that is already pre-assembled into one end. Make sure that you use this guy and you reassemble it into the port so that you don't end up like me and having a bunch of grease come out through the point of least resistance. You don't want that to happen to you, and that's what I'm fixing to do. I'm fixing to correct this situation right now. All right, greaser. Because if I don't get this tight enough, I'm gonna have some of this grease seep through the sides, and I don't want that to happen. All right. So at this point, I know that I'm at least this far up. Now I'm gonna squeeze until it comes out the flaccid. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Yes, sir. So now we're in business. What you want to do is you want to get this on the nipple, as you see, and you wanna squirt it in until you see grease actually coming out the sides. And that's what I'm doing. There we go. So what's happening, and I don't know if you can see it, but like this grease is going through this assembly right here, and it's squirting itself out the bottom. And at that point, when you can pull off enough of this grease that has come through, then you know you've gone far enough with what you're doing. So this is a lesson for you and for me today, apparently. So thank you for tuning in today for this special lesson, and I will see you on the flip side.